Cubism is a style of art that tries to show all sides of an object at once. Oftentimes, those objects are made out of cubes or other geometric shapes. Pablo Picasso was a very famous cubist from Spain. This painting is called Violin and Grapes. Can you see them? Today, you'll make your own guitar in the Cubism style. Here's all your supplies. That brown cardboard piece is actually the front of my cereal box, so you can raid your pantry or you can use a colored piece of paper. Everything else, grab and get ready. All right, like I was saying, you can use one of these two materials. You don't need both, so you can pick. I'm going to use the cardboard, but see how it's much smaller than the paper? So if I use a regular paper, if you're using a colored piece of paper, or even a white piece of paper if that's what you have, be sure to cut it in half. We're going to use half of that colored paper. If I'm prepping my guitar with the cardboard, because a cereal box is usually smaller, I'm just going to take off that top before I get started. Now, with both of these, you're going to fold it in half. And we're going to draw half of our guitar. So let me show you with both. The shape of the guitar is like a curved line, two hills almost, starting on the side that has the fold. I'm going to go dip in, and then I want a bigger curve at the bottom. Next step is to cut that out. The other thing you need is that strip from earlier. That's going to be the neck of our guitar. All right, let me really quickly show you what you're doing if you're using a regular piece of paper. The only difference is I'm cutting my strip from the half that I didn't use before. Time to fill in our guitar. I'm going to start with a black crayon. You can use a marker or even an oil pastel. And I'm going to start on one side of my guitar, making a nice thick line that follows the outline of the guitar. So it follows the curve. Same thing on the neck, except it's going to be a straight line. Once I've done this with a white crayon, oil pastel, colored pencil, whatever you have, I'm going to outline the remaining part of my guitar. So going right next to that black line. All right, it looks like we are ready to assemble. Oh, I wanted mine a little bit shorter. You can decide what you want your guitar to look like. When you're ready, add a little bit of glue to the back of your neck and then put it right on top, making sure that the shadow is on the same side for both the body and neck of your guitar. All right, now I'm going to draw and color in a big circle, which is for my sound hole. Just for fun, I'll use a different color for my bridge. You can decide. And for the guitar strings, starting at the top, going down to the bridge. Guitars typically have 6, but they sometimes have 4, which is how many lines I could fit this time. When your guitar is done, time to move on to your background. Now, I have a bunch of leftover painted paper from previous projects. Basically, it's just white paper that I filled with crayons, markers, watercolors, different colors and designs. If you don't have that, you can always use regular paper, like colored paper, or you can use magazines, newspapers. You can even make your own right now. Do it. When you have the material you're going to use, cut 4 to 6 triangles. Now, glue them anywhere on your paper. You don't have to worry too much about where you place them. Just try to spread them out and make sure they're not overlapping. Next, with either a crayon or a black marker, you're going to start following the edges of those triangles you just put down on the paper from end to end. So see how I started with the one side of my triangle, and now I'm following those lines all the way. This is going to really divide up your paper. If you run into another triangle, just hop over it like you're overlapping and it's going behind. Otherwise, just follow your lines. You're going to see it's really going to fill up and divide into a bunch of different shapes. When you have a bunch of defined spaces, fill each one in. I'm using markers, but you can use crayons, you can use watercolors, whatever you want. This is going to go really, really fast, but I want you to take your time and make sure everything is filled in nice and neat. I really just love how this looks watching it go that fast, but be sure to pause here until you're ready. We're almost there, but now it's time to cut our guitar. I know, we spent all that time making it, but I would like you to cut it into 4 to 6 pieces. Straight lines that you can then line up with the lines you made earlier. So see how I'm lining it up with different lines on my background? This is where you can have some fun. You can play around with the different shapes. You can either make your guitar pieces really close together or really far apart. So spend some time moving them around. When you are satisfied, glue them down. Be sure to press firmly to make sure it sticks, and then cut off anything that goes past the edge of your paper. And there you have a Cubism guitar inspired by Pablo Picasso.